Hello, everyone. This is the player formerly known as Empires and Puzzles Books. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying life and the game if you're still playing. It's been 8 months and 8 days since I stopped playing Empires and Puzzles after several years of intense play. I've really been touched by so many of you that reached out over the last few months wondering how life is going, what I'm up to, and asking when and if I'll be back. Short answer, life is amazing. I've been doing incredibly well, and I'll never be coming back to Empires and Puzzles. I really love my time playing the game. The community is awesome. It was great putting the books together for the game and doing all the research, and it was just really a great way to absorb a passion and hobby for a while. But I have moved on. Really, Empires and Puzzles was a great escape for me from the pandemic. Being stuck on a tiny island with little to do, it was an amazing way to distract myself from the reality of living through a global pandemic. It really gave me something to focus on. But once we were able to put the pandemic behind us, it was time for me to move on. As fun as EMP was, it had two large expenses really, time and money. Time was easily overlooked during the pandemic. Frankly, there wasn't much else to do. And honestly, so was the money because I had nothing else to spend my money on. I was earning a good income and living on a tiny island with not very high expenses. So what else is somebody going to do except spend money on entertainment, which I highly valued? But now that the pandemic is over, it was time to move on. I've moved off the island. I'm out exploring the world. And what am I doing with my time and money? Travel, travel, travel. I am back to exploring the world. Before the pandemic, I had just started really getting into traveling a lot. I managed to find myself in 41 different countries. And in the last 8 months alone, I've managed to add 10 new countries onto that count. So this is a passion of mine now. I had previously already traveled to all 50 U.S. states on a running mission. I used to run 5K races, and that's a whole nother story. But after seeing the 50 states, that really gave me the travel bug, and I was at a point in my life where I could afford to travel at the level that I wanted to, and I just started had a couple good years of travel when the pandemic hit. So now I am making up lost time. So 10 countries in the last 8 months. And actually, I had about 2 months of not traveling. So it's really 10 countries in like the last 6 months or so. So I am fast and furious traveling around the globe and I am all over the place. So where have I been? Now, these are actually in alphabetical order, not the order I visited them, but let's get through the list. So Bahrain, really enjoyed seeing the sights in Bahrain and getting to experience the Middle East and the Muslim country. There's a couple of those in here, as you will see. Brazil, Chapada National Park in Brazil, the mountains, the waterfalls, the caves. Such a beautiful time exploring a bunch of Brazil and Salvador. I did reach out to Jabberjay online before I did that trip. I don't know if Jabberjay is still playing, but I was hoping to connect with him. Unfortunately, I did not get to see him when I was in Salvador, Brazil. Uh, for those Indonesian players that are still around, I will be coming to Indonesia the next few weeks. So please feel free to get in touch if you want to connect. I'll be in Jakarta, Indonesia for 2 nights, but not consecutive nights. I'm actually kind of laying over twice through Jakarta, and then I'll be spending time in Bali later. But that's a trip for another day. So if you're in Indonesia and want to connect, let me know. So what else is on here? Cambodia. So I did a lot of traveling through Southeast Asia. Cambodia was an amazing experience. Got to see a lot of the sites, temples, and things throughout Cambodia. And then we can add in, and that was mostly in Phnom Penh, the capital. Also spent time in Laos, Vientiane, the capital there. Same thing, exploring a lot of the temples, night markets, food. Got to explore a lot of interesting things in the country of Laos. Oman is actually a whole story. I wasn't actually planning on going to Oman. I was flying to Malaysia and We had somebody get really like deathly sick on the plane, so we did an emergency landing. I was actually asleep. I was expecting to wake up in Malaysia, and I woke up in Oman, Muscat, Oman, the capital. So ended up spending some time exploring Oman that I did not mean to. But I did eventually get to Malaysia, which was a layover, so it's not on this list. I'd been to Malaysia before. It was actually a layover city on my trip, on one of my trips going through Southeast Asia. Saudi Arabia, I've spent a lot of time exploring a bunch of the cities in Saudi Arabia. Riyadh, the capital, Jeddah, one of the main cities on the Red Sea coast, and even a bunch of small towns throughout Saudi. Saudi's been an amazing place to explore. Made it to Madrid, Spain, really my only European stop in the last couple months, but managed to be in Madrid twice. Absolutely fascinating city. Really have enjoyed my time there and exploring Spain. And back to Southeast Asia. Finally made it to one of the cities I really wanted to get to, Bangkok, Thailand. Finally got real Thai food in Thailand. Absolutely amazing. I will be going back to Bangkok at some point. It was a fantastic journey. The UAE, the Emirates, United Arab Emirates. I got to spend some time in Abu Dhabi there, the capital. Again, fascinating city. Getting through some of these Middle Eastern countries has been a really wonderful cultural experience for me, and getting to meet people from all over the world, really. The Middle East brings people together from everywhere, so it's been pretty fascinating time that I've spent in the Middle East. And then Vietnam, again, last as far as alphabetical order goes, but definitely not last as far as life goes. Vietnam's actually been my favorite country. I'll be going back again to Vietnam probably pretty soon. It's, of the 51 countries I've been to, probably easily my favorite. I suspect I might retire in Vietnam someday. It's been an amazing country. Another thing I've been very grateful for in the last 8 months, in addition to these 10 new countries, I have had the chance not once but twice to get back to Cairo, Egypt. If you ever get a chance to go to Cairo, see the pyramids, everything Egyptian is just fascinating to me. Their old markets, Khan Khalili, the old market, seeing Cairo, a city of 12 million people, and just the transportation systems there and how beautifully chaotic it can be, and it's just an amazing culture and people. So really enjoyed my time in Cairo. That's been my fourth. I've been there 4 times now in my life, and God knows I'll probably end up being back there again at some point. So it's been great. In the next few months, I will be getting to Vietnam again, the Philippines, uh, Indonesia, and I'm trying to finish out a lot of the countries in Southeast Asia. So right before the pandemic, I had done a round the world trip that took me through Cairo, India, Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, and Macau, and then back around to Mexico City before returning to the Caribbean. And literally a month later, the pandemic hit. So that was my last real big trip. I always wanted to do a trip that circumvented the globe. But here I sit now, planning and plotting my next travels. If you have any suggestions on where I should go next, go ahead and throw them in the comments. But as you can see, with all this planning and traveling, I just don't have time for the game, and I just don't have interest anymore. Frankly, Empires and Puzzles, they lost my attention. I don't even remember. I honestly don't even really remember how to play the game and what we were doing in the game. But I just remember all the specials were just, it was getting too much, and you just had to keep chasing heroes to be able to outdo whatever the heroes that they just sold us did, and it just became less fun. I don't know. Something about the game just lost its luster. And like I said, time and money. I'd rather be spending it on getting outside and seeing the world. And I am hopeful that the pandemic is truly behind us, and I'm hoping we never see something like that again, so that I can keep crossing borders and seeing the world and exploring what's out there. Hey, whatever brings you happiness in your life, I hope you are all smiling and enjoying yourselves wherever you're at. I will keep the channel up. I've gotten a lot of requests to keep it up. I imagine with as fast as the game progressed that a lot of the information on this channel and definitely in the books is old news and maybe not as relevant. But I appreciate those that are still watching and chatting. I do check out the comments when they come in. So again, that's it. That's where I'm at and what I'm doing. I may at some point in the future be opening up a travel YouTube page. Usually when I travel, I have a background in photography, so I've been more about taking photos of the places I've been going. In fact, each of these photos you saw in here were one of my photos. I just kind of capture one good photo from each place. I haven't really been a video person, and I just don't know if I want to interrupt my travel with the time it takes to do video proper. But we'll see. Let me know in the comments if I started a video YouTube travel channel. Would that be something that you would find interesting? As always, appreciate the views, appreciate the time that you all have given me, and that I was relevant even for a short period of a few years in the game. Wishing you all the best. Thank you.